Once upon a time, in the lively village of Ogboko, there was a market that opened every Tuesday and Friday. People from nearby villages would come to buy and sell, from palm oil sellers to meat butchers, tomatoes and pepper traders. Whatever you wanted could be found in this market. The market was noisy, colorful, and full of life. But one person stood out in that market. It was Madam Ifeoma. She was not famous because of her goods, although her pepper and tomatoes were some of the best. But she was popular because of something else: her sharp mouth and her temper. Madam Ifeoma was always fighting. If a customer said, "This pepper is too expensive," or tried to price, Madam Ifeoma would reply, "Then go and plant your own and stop pricing." If anyone walked too close to her store, she would shout and warn them not to fall her market. If another trader's goods were placed too close to hers, she would threaten them and say, "I will scatter this your nonsense market if you don't shift." She was always terrorizing everyone. It's either she fights with the fish seller today or the yam seller tomorrow. People called her so many names, from razor mouth, market trouble, pepper mouth, and even the fire of Ogboko. Young children were so scared to pass near her store or even greet her. Everyone gave her space. But Madam Ifeoma did not see anything wrong with her behavior. Madam Ifeoma never got married, and as such did not have children. Her attitude was so bad that men did not want to be with her. She lived alone in a small house not far away from the market. Every day she woke up early, prepared her goods, and trekked to the market with a big basket on her head. She worked hard, no doubt, but her attitude always chased people away. In the market, people would rather pay extra at another store than buy from her. Her neighbors in the market had tried on so many occasions to advise her, but she was always so stubborn, so everyone decided to leave her to her fate. One Tuesday morning, as the sun rose gently over Ogboko, a new trader arrived at the market. She was tall, dark-skinned, and had a quiet confidence about her. Her name was Auntie Rose, and she came with a full sack of fresh, clean tomatoes and peppers. She picked a spot 2 stores away from Madam Ifeoma, and with the help of some children, she arranged her tomatoes and pepper in neat baskets. She greeted everyone around her with a smile and a gentle voice. By mid-morning, her store was full of customers. Her items were big and cheap, and she was polite to everyone. Madam Ifeoma noticed. She sat on her stool, watching quietly. Her eyes narrowed. Now which kind wahala be this one now, eh? Fresh face has landed and has stolen all my customers, she muttered under her breath. Days passed, and Auntie Rose continued to do so well. People liked her. Some even stayed behind to chat with her after buying pepper. Her presence brought a new energy to that part of the market. Meanwhile, Madam Ifeoma's customers became fewer. She noticed how some of her regulars now walked past her store and went to patronize Auntie Rose. Madam Ifeoma became so bitter. "She dey do charm o," she whispered to her neighbor. "She dey smile too much. This one is not normal o," she would always say. On a busy Friday, when the market was packed full, Madam Ifeoma had barely sold anything. She sat, fuming, watching as people gathered at Auntie Rose's store. Then she stood up, angry, jealous, ready for war. She marched to Auntie Rose's store and shouted in front of everyone, "I have said this before. You are stealing my customers. Pack your things and leave this place or I will scatter everything." Auntie Rose looked up slowly. Her face was cool but her eyes sharp. She said, "Madam Ifeoma, this is my space. I am not disturbing you. Leave me alone." Madam Ifeoma was boiling at this time. Before anyone could blink, she gave one rough kick to a basket of pepper. The pepper rolled across the dusty market floor. People around turned their heads. The noise dropped. "She don't start again," someone shouted. Then Madam Ifeoma raised her hand, aiming to slap Auntie Rose. But Auntie Rose was faster. With one clean move, she caught Madam Ifeoma's hand in mid-air, twisted it sharply behind her back, and spun her around. The market gasped. Madam Ifeoma let out a loud "ah" and tried to struggle, but Auntie Rose held her firm like a soldier. Before Madam Ifeoma could say another word, she gave her a resounding slap to the cheek, the kind that echoes on the skin. Madam Ifeoma stumbled back 2 steps, holding her face, confused and shaking. For once, her mouth was quiet. Auntie Rose stood tall and spoke in a low voice that everyone could hear. "Next time you try me, na ground you go sleep." The crowd stood frozen for a few seconds. Then, the whispers and murmurs started. She has met her match. That slap will reset her brain. Madam Ifeoma did not fight back. She picked up her wrapper, adjusted it quietly, and walked back to her store in shame without looking at anyone. That whole day, Madam Ifeoma did not talk to anybody. She packed her things quietly and left the market early. The next week, something very strange happened. Madam Ifeoma came to the market as usual, but this time, she greeted people. This was something she had never done before. She even helped a young trader arrange her vegetables. She smiled at one customer even. At first, people thought she was pretending, but over time, the change continued. Madam Ifeoma had finally turned a new leaf. She also apologized to a woman she had once insulted. She told a joke even that made traders around her laugh. She even apologized to Auntie Rose and they both made peace. Weeks passed and Madam Ifeoma became known for something new: kindness. She was still sharp-tongued, but now in a funny way. Her store became busy again. Children started buying from her without fear. The moral of this story is that pride and troublemaking may go unchecked for a while, but sooner or later, everyone meets their match. And sometimes, it takes a humbling experience to teach respect and change bad behavior. No one is above correction. Did you enjoy this story? If you did, like and subscribe. Thank you.